Hi guys, I'm back with my episode 8 recap of Mission Yozakura family, and as per usual, this video does contain spoilers, so you have been warned. This episode starts out with Tayo carrying a huge backpack along with Mutsumi, and they are on their way to some unknown errand. They meet up with Sweet Aoi, which shocks Tayo, and Mutsumi says hello. They clearly know each other, but she's still very angry about the incident last episode with Tayo and Nanao. They head off towards their destination and arrive at a coffee shop called Hinagaku, which is the name of the government spy organization from last episode. Sweet appears to order a drink, but what really happens is the floor disappears from underneath them and they're now falling fast down a corridor. Sweet holds on to Mutsumi, which kind of upsets Tayo, but then he realizes that there's a bunch of traps and he's actually grateful that Sweet is protecting Mutsumi in this situation. They finally land at the bottom of this corridor and suddenly a big boulder starts falling towards Tayo's head and some lady comes and smashes it and protects him from it. As it turns out, this lady is Rin, the chief of the Hinagiku, and she invited Mutsumi here for a tea party. She also happens to have been a former classmate of Big Bro Kyoichiro, and this is why they know each other. She also happens to be a little bit obsessed with Mutsumi. It turns out that Rin is worried for Mutsumi because she doesn't think Tayo can protect her because she heard from Sui that he wasn't a very good spy. Mutsumi tries to assure her that he has a strong soul, and just as she's explaining this, Kyoichiro bursts into the room. Kyoichiro and Rin don't really get along, they don't see eye to eye, so they immediately start fighting, and they're both strong fighters, so it's a fierce battle. The building starts to crumble from the fight, and the other three are watching helplessly, trying to figure out what to do. Mutsumi is about to volunteer to jump into the fray when Sui just takes off, and he's immediately hit back by the other two and not able to stop the fight at all. After that, Mutsumi tries to step in, but Tayo comes along and knocks her down so that she doesn't get hurt, and he gets punched in the face from both Kyoichiro and Rin in the process. Of course, this angers Mutsumi, and the fighting immediately ceases because she is not happy with either of them. Rin then acknowledges that Tayo is stronger than he looks, and then she has a thought that he might actually be helpful for something. We then see them explaining what's going on, which is this politician named Yoshimasa Kuroyuri has been gaining a lot of momentum in the current political climate, but there's a problem. He has been using very backhanded tactics to gain momentum, and he's caused a lot of bloodshed and harm. He's also using 3 spies as backup, and this is also causing a lot of problems because the Hinagiku cannot really intervene because he knows who they are, and there's also the other spies involved who are dangerous. Due to these circumstances, they ask Tayo to go undercover and work for Kuroyuri so that he can get some intel for them. And with that, they dress him up as a girl, send him off, and he is off to work for the Kuroyuri party. Tayo's main objectives for this mission are to get some evidence against the Kuroyuri party and to also stop them from using a bomb that they are aware of. During the first event that Tayo is working at, there is a brawl that breaks out and some equipment starts to fall on a citizen. But Mr. Kuroyuri steps in and protects the citizen, and this garners him support from the mad, angry people. Tayo quickly finds out that this was all a scheme. He did this on purpose to try and garner support, which of course makes Tayo angry, and it makes him start to wonder what else they're doing behind the scenes to try and make themselves look good. At this point, Tayo vows to find as much evidence as possible to stop these people from taking advantage of the citizens. A few days pass and Tayo is finding it absolutely impossible to find any evidence against these people. There are no paper trails or plans or anything. But as the days pass, it's clear that they're doing things behind the scenes that are causing politicians to have to drop out of the competition. Then one day at the office, as Tayo is very annoyed by all of their continuous dancing, he has a sudden realization that they're using Morse code by tapping their feet and waving fans and snapping their fingers to communicate their plans with each other. Tayo then gathers that they've been doing a lot of shady things behind the scenes to get people to join their side, and finally they begin to discuss a fake terrorist bomb plot. Basically, Kurayuri is planning to get rid of a bunch of his enemies all in one swoop at a meeting by bombing it. He intends to set off a bomb right underneath the stage, but when he goes to set it off, a bomb explodes in the fountain instead. Tayo acknowledges that this was his doing and it's the best he could do in such a short time crunch, but then Kurayuri pulls a gun on Tayo and shoots him right in the head. He then sets off another bomb because he said that he had backup bombs, but he's foiled by these shock-resistant suits that the Yozakura family supplied to everyone. Tayo also gets back up because he was just shot by a fake blood spray pellet, and then Sui shows up and slices all of the guns of the enemies. This effectively foils all of Kurayuri's plans, and Sui then says that he's going to take him into custody, which Tayo ends up being the one to actually take him into custody because Sui is helping to clean up the mess from the bombings. During the transport, Kurayuri suggests that Tayo's family dying wasn't an accident and him being saved also wasn't an accident. And this is where the episode leaves us off. I am very curious to find out more about what he's suggesting, because that means that the whole thing with Tayo's family wasn't actually an accident. I hope you will join me next week for the episode 9 recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more anime content. Until next time, bye bye!